Welcome to the Healing Heart Podcast, where all healing is always a matter of the heart. I'm your host, Donna Campbell, also known as the Mind Whisperer, interviewing guest experts on all matters of healing. All right, everybody, welcome back here to the Healing Heart Podcast, and I am your host, Donna Campbell. Now, my guest today, Allyson, is so truly amazing because she has had an entire background of healing. She is a registered nurse, and she turned to a feminine embodiment and empowerment mentor. So she is the founder and CEO of Rising Goddess Wellness. And Allyson left her career as a nurse leader to 1, slow down, 2, live an intentional life, and 3, share the magic of feminine energy with women all over the world. And I am so excited to have her today to be sharing with us. So welcome to the show, Allyson.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay. So real quick, I know I called you Allyson, but do you like to be called Allie instead?
Either one, Allyson or Allie.
Okay, perfect. I think it's just beautiful the way you have it spelled. So share with us, though, how you got started. You went into nursing. A lot of people do that because there's a caring, nurturing aspect to it. But what drew you out of nursing to go into the world of healing?
Sure. So yeah, I took a very traditional path into nursing. I wanted to help people and I wanted to change the world, right? And I think a lot of people get into healthcare for those reasons. Mm-hmm. And I started working up in my career and I finished my master's degree in nursing leadership and took 2 promotions during the pandemic into nursing management and started really doing work in that leadership capacity. And kind of took a look around and was like, you know what? I'm just not very happy here. I'm just not being very fulfilled by this work. And seeing a lot of the barriers with healthcare and the way the healthcare system works in the country, just thinking like, where can I really make the biggest impact in my life? And do I still think that this is where I need to be to do that? And at the same time, I was also going through my own self-love healing journey and really diving into my more feminine energy. So like our masculine energy is our going and achieving energy.
Yes, it
like,
is.
Getting things done, like crushing it in our business and our careers. And our feminine energy is that resting, flowing, like creative state that a lot of us are taught to kind of like push down and suppress a lot of our lives. So I was working with that energy in myself and coming to this balance and bringing that creative flow more into my everyday life. And I started looking around and was like, man, my masculine energy can get things done. Like, look at all of the things I have accomplished in my life. What if I were to use that masculine energy in service of my heart's like true desires, in service of what I really want to do and how I really want to make an impact in this world? And when I started opening myself up to like just imagining what that could look like, what that life might look like, I started to see it. I saw the vision for what that looked like in my life. And I wanted a life that I could wake up every morning and decide what I was going to do, decide how I wanted to spend my time. And I wanted to connect with other women and share this message of like, you can have a life that you don't feel like you need to escape from.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So one of the things that you focuses on is really about sharing the magic of feminine energy with women all over the world. So share with us, how do you do that for yourself and for others, sharing in that magic?
So I run a self-love club for women. So I have it open to women all over the world. We all come together. We meet weekly and we do feminine embodiment practices. That's the core of how I help women sink into that feminine energy, is really taking time out of your day to mindfully embody that energy of creativity, that energy of flow, sinking into your body and building a relationship with our emotions. Because that's the big key with feminine energy, is a lot of us have been taught to kind of just push down our emotions. You know, yes, we see them, but we're going to just trudge on. We're going to keep going. And, you know, maybe even to the point of burnout, to the point of exhaustion, where we're pushing and pushing ourselves. And so learning to take time to just really sink in and connect and noticing how I feel How do I feel about this? How does my body feel? And not bypassing that is like a huge way to really learn how to incorporate that feminine energy into every aspect of your life.
Yes. So for you, do you have clients? Do you work with people specifically? Like we have the club, you're sharing your messages. So if someone was to come with you, what would you be sharing with them and how would you help them promote in their healing?
Yeah, so I do have one-on-one clients, and so the work I do with them is much more personal. So we dive into what feminine and masculine energy looks like in your life and how it's playing into your life, and specifically like the relationships that we have with our own feminine energy and how that's playing into the aspect of our life that is feminine and creativity and flow, and the relationship. A big part of it is the relationship we have with our own masculine energy. And really building our trust in our masculine energy, that our masculine energy is going to be there to support and provide safety for us. That we are the person who's going to be the one, like we are our own soulmate. We are our own knight in shining armor. We are the one who's going to make changes in our life towards our heart's desires. We are the one that can push us towards what we really want in our lives.
I absolutely love that there. So I'm just curious here because we're talking about feminine energy, masculine energy. Share with us and the listeners, what do you see the differences between our masculine, our feminine side? How do we embrace that all? Because not everyone are familiar necessarily with those terms.
Sure. So it actually comes from an ancient Chinese, the concept of yin and yang. And so the concept behind that is that we have everything in nature is comprised of these two seemingly opposite forces that are also inseparable. So one cannot exist without the other. And so within each of us, there is yang energy, which is our masculine energy. This is, like I said, our going, doing, pushing, achieving energy. The energy we're in when we're taking care of our family, whenever we're making sure that the groceries get picked up and the laundry gets done and kids get to school and all of those logistical things that we're handling every day in our lives. And then we also have our yin energy, which is our feminine energy. And that's actually represented in the yin yang with the black. The black is the yin to represent the female womb space, the darkness of the womb space. And our yin energy is our flow. It's also our ability to rest, to receive love, to feel held, to feel supported, to feel like the world is working for us instead of against us. And I think in our society, in our culture, we're taught to really value and appreciate that masculine energy more. We're taught to put our heads down, to keep working, to grind it out. And we're really not taught to hold space for the full scope of our humanity, because we're not taught to hold space for our rest. We're not taught to value rest as productivity, to value rest as an essential part of what it takes to be human.
Yes. So how do you find the balance between the two?
Yeah. So at first, it's really about honoring the feminine, because we've been a lot of us, most of us, even women have been primarily in that masculine energy for a good part of our lives.
Yes.
So at first, it's about finding that time for rest, unashamed rest without expectation, without any to-do list, no productivity at all, doing absolutely nothing. And it sounds simple, but it is the hardest part. It's the hardest part, is to find that time. And then after you're developing that relationship with your feminine energy, it's finding time to express emotion, learning how your body processes emotion, where those emotions are held in your body, what it feels like to be in those energies. And then it becomes about building trust with our masculine, that we're going to show up in that space, that we're not going to like push our body past its breaking point, that we're going to honor whenever our body says, hey, slow down. Hey, that's enough today. Hey, that maybe can wait till tomorrow. Like, we've got to be able to put those checks and balances in for ourselves and trust that our masculine energy is not going to push us too far.
Right. I totally agree with that. All right. We are talking with Allyson and about embracing your divine feminine energy, and the magic of all of that and how she's transitioned from nursing into healing. We got to take that sponsor break. And when we come back, we have a few more thought-provoking questions on how to keep everything in balance and move forward in your life. Get what you always wanted. Abundant life is possible. Transform your lifestyle in just weeks with the most innovative system developed for heart-centered business professionals who seek change today. You are one step away from creating infinite prosperity, happiness, and love. Grab your bonus link now that's in the show notes. All right, welcome back here to the Healing Heart Podcast, and I am your host, Donna Campbell, and today my guest is Allyson. She was a nurse, and now she has transitioned into running her own business as a founder and CEO of the Rising Goddess Wellness. And so she's learning and teaches how to slow down your life, live intentionally, and share the magic of that feminine energy. And we were previously talking about keeping your masculine and your feminine energy balanced. Now, one of the interesting things is listening is that you were saying that our masculine energy is putting our efforts out into the world. I often think it's like a linear, analytical, sequential, step-by-step process. And we're always doing. And as women, we get conditioned into the doing, and we don't take time for our feminine energy. This is our intuitive, our creative, inspiration, idea generating side, where we're allowed to rest and have those few moments. Now, when we create out in the world, you have to have both. And you have to have your feminine energy with the ideas and the inspiration, but you have to put it out into action into the world with your masculine energy. And I think society has been a little reversed because we run around doing all the time without checking to see if we're on track with what we wanted to create. So what are some tips for that you can share with our listeners of how to really embrace your feminine energy, take that time to rest, give yourself permission, and really tap into your intuitive side?
Yeah, the biggest one is to dance like no one's watching. But what I mean by that is let yourself be free to be. So whatever is coming out, and if that's anger, like being angry, like expressing that anger, letting it come out of your body. Stomp around, like beat up the wall, beat up a pillow, something, scream into a pillow, like truly allow yourself to express your emotion, cry, allowing yourself to cry and not shaming yourself for those feelings is really how we start to honor that feminine energy, that feminine side of us. And then create, right? Just get in there and create without the expectation that it turns out to be something that can be productive. So not creating with the intention of we're going to sell this, or creating with the intention of we're going to get something out of it. Just creating to create, letting it be imperfect, letting it be messy, letting it be raw and vulnerable. And all of those things are really going to help us sink into that feminine space. And I did want to say too, I teach that the goal is not to have times where we're always like times where we're in our masculine, and we don't want to have times where we're like sinking into our feminine. That would still be better than like being always in our masculine, going and going and going. But really the true intention behind finding this balance, and I say it's balanced, but always a dance, a divine dance of these energies. Yes. The true purpose is to show up from this place where we're integrating both, where we're going and we're doing, but we're bringing this layer of flow, of ease, of creativity into that going and doing. And so we're really fusing them together to live this one path that we walk together. And actually, I have a self-love course that's called Inner Marriage, because I really do think it's self-love and it's an inner marriage of these two forces within us. And when they are on the same page, oh my gosh, life gets so fun.
I love that. And how you express it as an inner marriage, because it really is. And when those two sides, the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, they come together, you really have wholeness, completeness, and oneness, which really is like your own sacred marriage.
Yes, I say it is, we're building a safe space, an inner castle
Mhm.
inside, this
I love
place
it.
within ourselves where all parts of us are accepted, seen, welcomed, and loved.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, here on the Healing Heart podcast, I often talk about all healing is a matter of the heart. So, as you went through your own transition and now you're sharing this with other women, what are some of the healing gifts that you have received back for you? How has your own inner space healed?
Yeah, every time I work with a new woman, I learn something too. I think every single person in the world has something to teach us, as well as we have something to teach every single other person.
Mhm.
So that's how I approach it. Everybody has something that they're going to teach me, and they're going to get something out of it as well. Um, this is like what my soul was called to do. So every time I'm with these women and I'm
Mhm.
interacting in these spaces, holding this safe space for sisters coming together to really just be without expectation, without the worry of the outside world. It's so healing for my own heart as well.
Mhm.
It's just so enriching and fulfilling.
Yes, yes, I believe that. And, and you touched on a really good point there about it being from the soul. And because all of the healing, although it's a matter of the heart, it's really directed by the soul and being on the path with purpose on a soul level. So, how do you know for you if you're in alignment with what your soul really wants you to be doing? What are
Yeah.
those indicators?
So, that was one of my favorite parts of my own journey. And my favorite thing to see in other women is whenever you start to really recognize that when you're on your heart's path, when you're checking in with your body and you're coming from that place of integration, you can trust that that's your soul's path. Like when you're trusting in your heart and you're trusting in that guiding intuition, that intuitive voice, and you're letting it lead the way and you're using your masculine energy as the driving force behind it. Like, I
Mhm.
don't have to worry if I'm on the right path or not. I just know.
Mhm. Okay, I love that. I love that. And as you work with your clients and all of the different women, what are some of the benefits and the silver lining gifts that they receive moving forward on their own healing journey?
Yeah. So we've had some big breakthroughs, even around things like money, around relationships with, their parents, their childhood traumas. It really is an all-encompassing kind of approach because feminine and masculine energy are present in literally everything that we
Mhm.
do, every single aspect of our lives. So just looking at it from that perspective with that lens of how do I see feminine energy at play here and how do I see masculine energy at play here, it brings a different level of awareness to any situation that's going on in their lives.
I love that. So, for you, if people want to reach out, get in touch with you, learn more about balancing their masculine and feminine energy, coming into that wholeness for healing, how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I do have a feminine and masculine energy meditation that's free on the homepage of my website. It's risinggoddesswellness.com. So if you're interested in feeling those energies within your body, that's where I would say to start because it's a really good one to sink in and really feel the difference in your own body. And then if you're wanting to work with me, you can find all of the information on my self-love course and on the Goddess Club, that self-love club for women on the website, risinggoddesswellness.com. You can follow me on all of the social medias at Rising Goddess Wellness.
Okay, perfect. So for all of you guys that are out there listening, of course, we're going to have all of that information in the show notes. So all you have to do is just click on it and access and get a hold of Allyson. And with that, is there any other last words of wisdom that you would like to share with the audience?
Just follow your heart. Just your heart knows the way. It is guiding you in the right direction.
It does each and every day. So thank you everybody for listening here to the Healing Heart podcast. And for all of you, go create that beautiful day.